It's not just another comet. It's not just another rock in space. 3I Atlas is something else. An object born beyond our solar system, now hurtling through it at mind-bending speed. And some scientists think it might not be natural at all. Since its discovery in July 2025, 3I Atlas has kicked off one of the most fascinating and controversial scientific debates in years. Is it a comet from a distant star system? Or is it something artificial, something designed, spotted by the Atlas telescope system in Chile, which stands for Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System? 3I Atlas was immediately flagged as unusual. It was fast, very fast. Its trajectory, hyperbolic. That means it's not looping around the sun like other celestial bodies. It's just passing through, an interstellar visitor on a one-time trip through our cosmic neighborhood. According to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, it entered the solar system moving at over 130,000 miles per hour, or 210,000 kilometers per hour, nearly twice the speed of Voyager 1. And unlike 2I Borisov, or even the bizarre Oumuamua before it, this one might be visible to telescopes for months, with its closest approach to the Sun happening around October 21st, 2025. And yet, even with that visibility, 3I Atlas refuses to give up its secrets. On one hand, it shows signs we'd expect from a typical comet. It has a coma, a growing tail, and appears to be shedding gas and dust as it approaches the Sun. But on the other hand, it doesn't act quite like any comet we've seen before. The European Space Agency confirmed its activity pattern is strangely muted. Its outgassing is weaker than expected given its size, with one Hubble observation estimating its solid nucleus could be as large as 5.6 kilometers across, yet it's losing mass at a surprisingly low rate. This is where the theories start to split. Most scientists lean toward the traditional explanation. 3I Atlas is a natural object. A frozen ball of rock and ice that formed billions of years ago in a completely different solar system, and for reasons we may never fully know, was ejected into interstellar space, possibly flung by a giant planet, or gravitationally slingshot out by a binary star. And now, purely by chance, it's passing through ours. That alone would be incredible. But not everyone is convinced that nature tells the whole story. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, known for his controversial but scientifically grounded speculations about Oumuamua, has proposed that 3I Atlas exhibits some features that might suggest artificial origin. In a recent analysis, Loeb and colleagues pointed out that its approach trajectory is almost perfectly aligned with the plane of the solar system, the ecliptic, and that its nearly retrograde orbit could, theoretically, support a spacecraft maneuver known as a solar Oumuamua maneuver. That's where a craft dives close to the Sun to gain speed using gravity, a method that real spacecraft like the Parker Solar Probe have used. But the twist? A reverse Oumuamua maneuver would allow a craft to slow down, hide, or even change direction behind the Sun. Could an alien-designed object use such a trajectory to mask its entry into the solar system? Loeb's team admits, this is a thought experiment. They're not saying 3I Atlas is a spacecraft. They're saying its orbital path is compatible with that possibility. That's a key distinction, and most of the astronomical community remains firmly in the comet camp. But when you line up the oddities, it becomes harder to ignore the questions. Why is the object accelerating only due to gravity, with little to no observed push from comet-like jets? Why is its brightness profile so irregular? And what about its unusual tail, which appears at times to flow in a direction that doesn't match typical solar wind interactions? In August 2025, the Gemini Observatory in Chile captured images of the object with a developing tail and gas emissions, but with strange patterns that experts haven't fully explained. Spectral analysis picked up cyanogen and diatomic carbon emissions, typical of some comets, but the strength of those signals fluctuates in ways that don't entirely match the known outgassing models. Observers from the Japan Subaru telescope and the European Southern Observatory have noted that the coma around the nucleus doesn't exhibit the uniform behavior seen in other interstellar comets like Borisov. In some frames, parts of the gas cloud seem denser and more structured, almost as if something solid were affecting the flow. And here's where it gets even more bizarre. Loeb has linked the path of 3I Atlas to the legendary 1977 WOW signal, a strong narrowband radio signal detected by Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope. While there's no proven connection, Loeb calculated that the angular separation between 3I Atlas's trajectory and the direction the WOW signal originated from is only about 4 degrees. Statistically, that's roughly a 0.6% chance if the object's direction were random. Coincidence? Probably. But it adds fuel to an already burning fire of speculation. Of course, there's a danger in overreading the data. As NASA researchers and planetary scientists have emphasized, just because something is unusual doesn't mean it's alien. Comets are unpredictable. Their behavior depends on surface composition, rotation, heat exposure, dust grain size, even the angle of sunlight. We've only observed 3 confirmed interstellar objects in history. Our sample size is so small, we don't even fully know what normal looks like. But that hasn't stopped some researchers from pushing for deeper investigation. There have been informal proposals to launch a rapid intercept mission to 3I Atlas, though nothing has been approved. The idea would be similar to what ESA proposed for Oumuamua after the fact, sending a small, fast spacecraft to catch up and analyze the object directly. But the problem is time. 3I Atlas is moving so fast and the launch window so narrow that catching it would require near immediate action and likely a mission that's already partially built. It's unlikely to happen in time. What is happening is observation, lots of it. During its October 2025 perihelion, NASA, ESA, and dozens of ground-based observatories will be pointing their instruments at this object. We're talking about full-spectrum spectroscopy, polarimetry, dust composition analysis, and light curve modeling, all tools designed to extract as much information as possible from a visitor that won't come back. The James Webb Space Telescope is expected to join the campaign, using its powerful infrared sensors to detect volatile compounds that Earth-based telescopes can't see. Every pixel matters. Even Mars might get in on the action. On October 3rd, 3I Atlas will pass within 29 million kilometers of Mars, a close enough flyby that cameras like HiRISE aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter could potentially get a snapshot, though it would be blurry and challenging to resolve. Later, in early 2026, it will swing past Jupiter on its way out of the solar system, providing another chance for long-range instruments like those aboard Juno to observe it from a distance. And through all of this, the world will keep watching. Not because we think 3I Atlas is definitely an alien artifact, but because we know it could tell us something profound, either way. If it's natural, it gives us a direct glimpse at material formed in another planetary system, potentially billions of years ago. A time capsule. A message in a bottle flung across light years. Some scientists have speculated that interstellar comets could be responsible for transporting organic molecules, even prebiotic chemistry, between star systems. In other words, 3I Atlas could be part of the same cosmic process that once helped life arise here. But if it's not natural, that would be something else entirely. A revelation on the scale of the Copernican shift, or the discovery of exoplanets. It would mean someone, or something, out there not only exists, but sent an object into our solar system. The implications would ripple through science, philosophy, and society for generations. Not as a threat, but as evidence that we are not alone. That the vast dark between stars may not be as empty as we once believed. And still, the most likely answer, as far as the data shows, is that 3I Atlas is a comet. A weird comet, from a strange place, but natural. And yet, there's just enough that doesn't quite fit to keep the door open, to keep scientists asking questions. And maybe that's the real value here, not in the answers, but in the mystery. Thanks for watching The Galaxy Explained. If you found this fascinating, check out our video on Oumuamua, the first interstellar object ever discovered, and the bizarre journey it took through our solar system. Because every object from beyond the stars carries with it a story, and some of those stories may change everything.